Hi, this is Nikki Norlock. You know me from FeenxRising.com, from PhoenixNest.com, Beyond Strength, Everyday Connection, and of course NikkiNorlock.com. I am here today to launch a new series of Truth Talks, and I have with me a new guest, and I'm very excited. The new series of Truth Talks is called Fibromyalgia Feenxrising Truth Talks. So we're here to talk about the truth about fibromyalgia. My guest, Paula Snow, is from Nelson, BC.
You got it.
Absolutely. And just so that you know where we are in this beautiful location, we are currently sitting at the Mango Tree Villas and Spa in Tres Rios de Coronado, Costa Rica. Yeah.
Ain't it amazing?
That happened. All right, so Paula, we had a really interesting synchronistic series of events that led to our encounter and our conversation. And we tapped into an interesting truth about fibromyalgia. And one of the things that I want to talk about in these fibromyalgia truth talks is that everybody's body is different. And so when you and I were talking about how our bodies function in different climates, I was saying that here in Costa Rica, I'm full of energy, I'm good to go, my body's not sore. And you were saying that you feel better with less pain, but your energy level is much less.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to talk to me a bit about the difference between how you feel here and how you feel in Nelson, BC, which is a little colder climate?
A little colder climate. Right now, I would say they're experiencing about 4 feet of snow, and everybody's on the ski hill. And if it's raining on the ski hill, everybody's sad, but mostly it's snowing heavily and not so very cold, but quite damp. Right. So when I'm in Nelson, in the summertime, it's much like here, not as humid,
okay.
but my body feels sort of limber and, a little bit not so sore. In the winter time, the arthritis kicks in, the fibro aches and pains, the fibro fog kicks in, and yet here I don't experience the pain so much. But as you said, it's about the energy level. The heat takes the energy out of me in a big way, and it doesn't seem to matter how much sleep I get. It doesn't seem to matter how I eat, which is, two things that I have to be very careful of with fibro.
Absolutely.
It's just, it's a given, I think, for anybody with fibro, and yet everyone's different in what they eat and how much sleep they need.
Absolutely.
But for me, the cold climate allows me to be energetic and to get the work done that I like to get done in a given day. So what I traded, no, a few weeks here is great, but then I need to go back and I need to get my energy back again.
Right. So now you've had this disease. I hate that word. This interesting adventure into health and wellness for a long time.
Well, I suspected it many years before it was diagnosed, and I kept going to the doctors and saying, "There's something wrong with me. I don't have enough energy. I have aches and pains all over." They went, here we press your pressure points. No, you don't have fibromyalgia. You're fine. And I go like, yeah, right. And one day it got bad enough.
Okay.
To the point where I couldn't get off the couch for 3 days. Because I had such pain. And I went to the doctor and he said, "Oh, guess what? You have fibromyalgia." And I went, "Duh." So it's about time you noticed.
It's such a typical fibro journey with doctors, isn't it? They're still stumbling around how does that work and how do we heal it? And
well, they don't understand it, and as I understand, they don't have the one-size-fits-all pill for it.
That's right.
So if they don't want to diagnose it because they got nothing to give the patient.
Right. Absolutely.
So I think they hesitate to give the diagnosis. So for me, 7 years ago when the diagnosis came down, it's been an interesting journey of discovery as to what works and what doesn't work.
Right, and I want to talk about that because you touched on something that's really important for any person with fibromyalgia that's listening today, and that is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution to this disease. It is a very personal disease.
Yeah.
It is a disease that is multi-layered, incredibly complex, both in diagnosis and in management.
Yeah.
And
so individual.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I'd like to bring something up here that I've found to be utter truth, is that anytime I have a health condition and I bring it up with somebody, they've always got an answer.
Right.
It's like, oh, this happened to me and what I did was this. So all you have to do is take saw palmetto and you'll be fine. It's like,
I know.
Okay.
They all have the answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I've discovered is that I try to say, this is what worked for me. It may or may not work for you, and you may or may not be inspired to try it even.
Right.
Although I do think that people need to keep open-minded about what they try, because if you put your foot down and say, I'm not going to do that because that's not going to work for me, then you really don't do the journey. You're not doing the exploration you need to do.
Absolutely, and that's an absolute truth. There's going to be tons of people coming to you and saying, hey, I've got this thing that worked. And it's up to you to tap into your inner knowingness, inner guidance, and follow that.
Right.
Now, as far as going through the process of eliminating which foods, which stressors in your life, be they environmental, relationship-wise, you said it took you a very long time. So can you walk me through like a condensed version of how did you go about that process?
Well, the first thing I looked to was my diet.
Okay.
That's in some ways the easiest, but in some ways the hardest thing to do. I mean, some of the things are very tricky, like to eliminate wheat, to eliminate dairy,
right,
to eliminate sugar. And yet I have a pretty good grasp of my own food intake, and that when I decide to do something, I can make the change.
Right.
So for me, that was the easiest thing to do, and I started seeing results fairly quickly, especially during the last year when it flared up again, and I eliminated sugar entirely from my diet, and that made an enormous difference.
I know, it's working great.
Yeah, so I would say, not to say that it will work for everyone,
That's
but
right.
I would say that sugar could be one of the culprits. Other than that, to eliminate stressors of all kinds, which is pretty much impossible in the life that anybody lives. I mean, we have stressors in our day-to-day life. They're just going to occur. So you do the best you can to wrap your mind around not getting wrapped up in the stressors. Here, I have a stressor happening today. Hey, it's going to be better tomorrow.
Right.
So it's attitude, mental attitude.
Right.
Working some kind of spiritual program. Always trying to let go of the hard stuff, and just keeping on trucking and not getting discouraged, not taking it on as a death sentence, not going like, oh my God, I've got another ache in pain, it must be cancer, oh my God. That's like my mind immediately goes,
it's all of us.
could it be fibromyalgia? No. Oh no, it can be. It's got to be cancer.
Must be dying.
I must be dying. And to continually wash those thoughts through and go, give it a day or two, see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, the same pain is there and I haven't died yet. Guess what? I bet it's another flare-up of fibro in just a different way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one learns to make friends with it in a way. Yeah.
Now I have we had an interesting conversation when we first met about my take on fibromyalgia and the dreaded first initial reaction to the disease of my body has failed me.
Mm.
And the relationship that so many fibromyalgia patients have with their body, in that they really hate their body. They're really angry with their body for the pain. And do you remember me telling you how when I switched my mindset over from my body's not working against me, it's actually working for me, how that shifted?
Yes, I remember you saying
focus.
that. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about that just for a minute, because I think it's really important in the first Truth Talk of the year that we cover that. And our reasoning for this, and she's going to back me up, I know you've done a lot of research on this disorder, is that fibromyalgia seems to be a direct result from toxicity in your life, be it environmental, emotional, your food
physical
intake, physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Physical trauma. Yep.
So It's also directly related to PSTD,
Yes.
chronic fatigue.
Yep.
So here's the deal. When you think about your body not working, you're breaking down your relationship with your body, and essentially you've stopped listening to your body. And here's how fibro works. When you have a stressor happen in your life, you start off with minimal pain.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do anything about it, the pain continues to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening is essentially your body's talking to you. It's screaming at you. Eventually, when you're in full flare-up and you can't think straight and you can't get out of bed, that's your body screaming at you. So here's the kicker on all that. Our bodies work so much better than everybody else's. They're so bloody efficient that every time we get any kind of invasion of anything that our body doesn't like, the body's like, oh, no,
that won't work.
Fix it.
You got it.
So when you're thinking about your body and your relationship with your body, stop hating it. It loves you. It's trying to help you. And it's asking you to help it. Mm-hmm. And that's a really important one. Mm-hmm. And I think that your journey with food has been a really good example of that. Because you took out a lot of the things. And you eat a lot of different things that I can't eat. You eat cheese.
I can eat cheese, especially here, but I eat... here the cheese is made of milk that is not processed.
Right.
So it's different. At home I would only eat goat or sheep cheese.
Okay.
Here I can eat more cheese because the milk is good. And that's the way it is here with a number of other things as well. The meats I can eat from the market here because they're not processed. Right. At home, I strictly buy meat from a local supplier who I know farms organically.
Right. And you do farm your own organic fruits and vegetables, too.
I do farm my own organic fruits and vegetables, and I will not eat stuff from the grocery store.
So just to wrap this up, how important is it then, would you say to people listening, to make this journey into wellness their priority?
You have to make it a priority. It has to be thing one. It has to be absolutely up front and center. Everything takes second place.
And that just about wraps it up, because that's the Fibromyalgia Truth Talking.
You got it.
Love you.
Love you too.